Welcome to the I Am You podcast. I am your host, Dr. Nitza Alvarez, a board-certified cardiologist and best-selling author. My hope with this podcast is to share stories so women can speak up and become the CEO of their own health. I am a cardiologist. I am a wife. I am a mother. My story is your story. I am you. My name is Nitza Alvarez. I'm a board-certified cardiologist with a private practice that specializes in prevention, early detection, and the treatment of heart disease in women. My work has always been about helping women understand that our hearts are different, yet we've been moving in a system that often neglects us. When it comes to heart matters, women are under-recognized, under-diagnosed, and under-treated. Welcome to I Am You, the podcast where women learn how to protect the heart that carries them through every stage of life. Every episode, we talk about the real stories behind the science because data matters, but story reminds us why it matters. If you remember, on last week's episode, we gave the story of Elena, a young woman that showed up in the hospital with a stroke. And although so many times when we present to the emergency room, a young woman will most likely be told that she is stressed. Well, today, we are retaking the conversation to help you understand the science, the myth, and the minimum evaluation that a woman should undergo if there is a suspicion for stroke. Now, you're interested in understanding some of the background, not only Elena, but what I discussed about the different type of stroke. Don't forget to watch the episode from last week. Let's unpack what happens inside the vessels when estrogen levels go down. For a good visual example of how our arteries look like, I want you to think of them like a garden hose. There is a hollow space where water, or in this case, blood, flows free. The hose has layers that make them flexible yet strong. The inner, the middle, and the outer. So we think about this like inner, middle, and outer. The inner layer is where you will find the endothelium inside. Estrogen maintains the integrity of that inner lining that is also known as endothelium. It does that by stimulating nitric oxide production and reducing inflammation. Nitric oxide is the reason why the beets have become so popular. They are rich in nitrates that your body will convert into nitric oxide. When estrogen drops, those protective effects disappear. The vessel wall becomes stiffer and plaque becomes more prone to rupture. That's why we see more high blood pressure, higher cholesterol, and insulin resistance starting right around menopause. Globally, stroke claims over 6 million lives each year. In the United States alone, nearly 60% of stroke deaths occur in women. Yet, most of our prevention studies were built on male data. In midlife, a woman's risk of stroke rises by 45% within the first 10 years after menopause. And the lifetime risk of experiencing one is 1 in 5. If you have a group of friends, 5 of you, 1 out of you will most likely have a stroke. So when a 45-year-old woman develops new headaches, dizziness, or fogginess, and is told it's just stress, we're missing the bigger picture. There was a study performed to understand how the blood flow to the brain using MRI tests, and this one showed that the female brain loses flow and adaptability during perimenopause, not because of age, but because of hormone withdrawal. And those small white matter spots we talked about in the last episode, think of them as tiny traffic jams in the brain's highway. 1 or 2 traffic jams might not matter, but hundreds create chronic congestion in the brain that slows memory, language, and mood. Now, let's go over some myths that keep women from recognizing the warning signs. And let me share with you the essential studies every woman should have after a stroke is confirmed. Take notes. What you're about to learn could save your life or the life of someone you love. Common myths about stroke. Let's clear up a few myths I hear all the time. Myth number 1. Strokes only happen to the elderly. Fact. Almost 1 in 7 stroke now occurs in adults younger than 50. Hormone shifts, pregnancy complications, autoimmune disorders, and undiagnosed heart rhythm issues all raise risk earlier than we used to believe. Myth number 2, if the symptoms go away, it's nothing. Like Elena, my arm weakness went away. It was a transient vision loss. These short-lived episodes might be a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, often called a mini stroke. It means a clot briefly block flow and dissolve on its own, but the message is clear: a major event might be coming. Myth number 3, men are at higher risk than women. Actually, before age 45, women surpass men in stroke incidents. After menopause, the risks even out, but women have more disabling strokes and recover more slowly. Myth number 4, hormones have nothing to do with your brain. Fact: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone all interact with your neurons. Estrogen improves cerebral metabolism and blood flow regulation. When estrogen levels go down, this affects memory, sleep, and how easy your vessels relax. Myth number 5, you cannot prevent a stroke. Fact: that's the biggest myth of all. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable through lifestyle, blood pressure control, hormone balance, and early detection of hidden factors. You'll be surprised how many women come to me after a stroke and the only thing they know is they did a bunch of tests and everything was negative. That's not enough. You cannot know. You cannot leave the hospital not knowing what tests were done. Like, what does it even mean when they said they did all the tests and everything was normal? Once a stroke is confirmed, the questions become, why did it happen? So you want to know. The most common test that they might order is a carotid ultrasound, a CT scan of the brain, and maybe an echocardiogram, hopefully with bubbles. This is a test that checks for shunts that could let clots slip through the heart and reach the brain. You must know what studies were done for you before you leave the hospital. Now, the point is that a negative carotid ultrasound alone is not enough. Every woman deserves a full search for the source. Number 1, a transesophageal echo or a TEE. These tests look like an endoscopy. The cardiologist will place a camera down your throat and looks for abnormalities inside the heart. If you had a confirmed stroke with an unknown cause, ask for this test. Rhythm monitoring. This is done to look for rhythm abnormalities if your TEE did not show anything that explained the potential cause of your stroke. Many times you'll be offered a Holter monitor. However, a 24-hour Holter misses most brief arrhythmias. If the monitor does not show arrhythmias, ask for an implantable loop recorder. They are implanted under the skin with local anesthesia and in this area on your chest, and this device can save your life. They can uncover silent atrial fibrillation in up to 30% of stroke. Ask for a high-resolution vascular imaging, a CT angiogram or an MR angiogram, also called as a CTA or MRI of the head and neck, can detect small dissections, plaque ulceration, or vasculitis even when the major arteries look normal. We also recommend a screening for hypercoagulability and cancer. When you have persistent elevation in a marker called D-dimer or multiple infarcts in different territories of your CAT scan, that might warrant a search for cancer or autoimmune disease. In women younger than 60, if a PFO is found and considered high risk, closure might reduce recurrence by about 3%. But the decision should always involve both cardiology and neurology working together. And if no cause is identified, this is what we call a cryptogenic stroke. We keep searching. Remember, unknown should never mean unsolved. Stroke is devastating for women of all ages. Even after menopause, the risk doesn't disappear. It actually rises. So whether you're 35 or 75, stroke prevention remains a lifelong priority. And that's why the next part of this conversation, prevention, matters so much. Here are 5 powerful ways to protect your brain and heart right now. Number 1, know your numbers. Check your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar twice a year. Keep your systolic blood pressure under 120 if possible. Even mild elevations, what we used to call borderline, double your risk of stroke. Number 2, move your body every day. A brisk 30-minute walk improves vascular flexibility and balance hormone naturally. Physical activity alone can cut your stroke risk by 25%. Number 3, fuel your vessels. Adopt an anti-inflammatory diet, rich in omega-3, leafy greens, and colorful fruits. Limit the processed foods and added sugar that stiffen your vessels and trigger inflammation. Number 4, sleep and stress. 7 hours of quality sleep stabilizes cortisol and blood pressure. And yes, meditation, prayer, or quiet time count. Chronic stress constricts vessels, and calm restores the flow. And number 5, ask about your hormones. Perimenopause is the best time to evaluate estrogen, progesterone, thyroid, and adrenal balance. Restoring physiologic estrogen early can protect the endothelium, improve the blood flow, and lower LDL, bad cholesterol. But timing matters. Start early for the most benefit. Prevention is not about being scared. It's about being smart. It's about seeing what's coming and staying one step ahead. This is why we have created programs designed for prevention, not reaction. Because true health is not about waiting for a diagnosis. It's about protecting your future self, and for that, you must be willing to invest in your future self. Don't wait for health insurances. They were never built for prevention. Invest in it today. Schedule that evaluation, learn your numbers. Don't wait for symptoms to become your teacher. The best stroke is the one that never happens. I am Dr. Nitza Alvarez, and this has been I Am You, the podcast where women learn how to protect the heart and the brain that carries them through every stage of life. Until next time, take care of your heart, listen to your body, and remember, you are your best medicine. I hope this episode has empowered you to be the CEO of your own health. Tune into our next episode, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at NITZAMD, NITZAMD. To explore more on this and related topics, visit our website, NITZAMD.com, NITZAMD.com. If this episode resonated with you, please like and subscribe. And one more thing, share with the wonderful woman in your life.